Today, we are talking Burundi, facts, culture, geography, and history of Burundi. Burundi is a tiny East and Central African republic, bordering Tanzania, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let us unravel this fascinating country. 1. Burundi is a member of the United Nations. It got its independence from Belgium on July 1, 1962 as a constitutional monarchy under King Mwambutsa IV. It joined the United Nations on September 18, the same year. It later became a republic in November 1965 after the monarchy was overthrown and abolished by Captain Michel Micombero. The history of post-independence Burundi has been turbulent with plenty of civil wars, coups, and genocides. It is a history of so much to learn and so much to wonder. 2. The country's motto is unity, work, and progress. Burundi, being largely agrarian society, hard work is a natural phenomenon. However, unity and progress have largely been quite elusive. The homogeneity of Burundi amongst the various ethnic communities is one of the rare surprises in Africa. It has not translated into peace. Persistent ethnic and class conflicts, civil wars and genocides have meant that progress remains elusive. This too has affected productivity, thus rendering Burundi as one of the poorest countries in the world, and at one time, touted amongst the 17 most dangerous countries to live in. Please subscribe to the channel so that we can bring you more facts, culture, geography, and history of Africa and other countries. Let us continue. 3. Burundi is a densely populated country with one person hardly owning no more than an acre piece of land. His population pressure coupled with poverty and underdevelopment has meant that wood remains the only affordable means of cooking fuel. To make it worse, the ancient pastoralist tradition of keeping large than healthy herds of cattle has meant that more forest has been cleared to pave way for grazing ground. 4. The majority of the population of Burundi lives in villages that are scattered throughout the highlands. Over 80% of Burundians live in rural areas. Burundi is largely poor and underdeveloped. Having one of the lowest literate rates in Africa and the world, this means that the youths lack modern knowledge and skills required to diversify their livelihoods away from dependence on rural agriculture. 5. Burundians rely largely on starchy cereals and tubers for their mainly meal. Maize is the main staple food. Traditionally, the Hutu majority, comprising 80% of the population, are not adept at keeping livestock and thus are more dependent on plant-based sources of food. This means that less protein is available in their diet. 6. Beer is an important part of social interactions in Burundi. This beer is drunk through long straws. Yes, beer is an important traditional drink for social interactions in the most traditional African setups. Beer is drank from one central pot, by almost a dozen people or more using long straws. While most of Africa has left this tradition, Burundi still love using straws for their beer. This is both traditional and modern beer. 7. Upon a death of a cow, its meat is eaten, but the horns are planted in the soil at the rear of the house. People in Burundi believe that this brings them good luck. The cows occupy a near sacred place in the Burundi society. The horns are considered sacred element. While in the most other traditional African societies, horns are used as musical instruments, and sometimes as part of magicians' paraphernalia, in Burundi, they are planted instead. To the people of Burundi, this is akin to planting blessings. In some ways, it acts as a thanksgiving for the delicious meat provided by the departed cow, more so as blessings for more cows to come. 8. 90% of the population of Burundi is employed in agriculture. Burundi's economy is based on agriculture. Burundi lacks significant mineral wealth. It is a landlocked country within the interior of Africa, thus it lacks access to direct international trade routes. With high illiteracy levels, coupled with poor industrial skills and lack of capital, most Burundians have resigned themselves to there and as a primary source of their livelihood. Its main agricultural export is Arabica coffee. Other notable agricultural exports are tea, sugar, cotton, and hides. 9. It is sad to say this, but is true. Burundi is a country heavily affected by sex trafficking and child labor. Due to civil wars, overpopulation, and extreme poverty, thousands of the Burundian girls are trafficked into prostitution in other East African countries, such as Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Some are trafficked as domestic slaves in the Middle East, mainly Oman and Qatar. Even boys are not spared. Boys are trafficked into slave labor in Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of Congo. There has been laxity in terms of government intervention. This is because of inadequate budget and the fact that some state officials, more so, security officers, are accomplices in this trade. 10. Burundi has been home to the Twa Hutu and Tutsi peoples for at least 500 years. Burundi is also the oldest nation-state in Africa. It is one of the few countries in Africa where colonialists neither created nor altered its boundaries. The tribes, the Hutus and Twa, have coexisted in Burundi for over half a millennium. The Tutsis are considered later entrants, though their arrival is estimated to have occurred more than 500 years ago. This is what has made them have a homogeneous national language, despite different ethnicities. Cattle are a symbol of health, happiness, and prosperity in Burundi. A typical Kirundi greeting, amashio, translates as "may you have heard of many cattle." Cattle is revered in Burundi because they are a symbol of wealth. Traditionally, the more cows one owns, the more wealth the person is considered to be. Cows not only provide milk, meat, and hide, but are also valuable when it comes to payment of dowry during marriage. That means that boys from a family with plenty of cows have an upper hand in attracting the best brides in the community. I would like to conclude by saying, Burundi has a rich history as a nation-state dating over 500 years. There are many lessons to learn from Burundi. Some are pleasant, and some are not pleasant. Yet, that is what makes up humanity. Please subscribe, share and like. It helps the channel to grow. Great respect to all the subscribers. You make my day, every single day. Thank you so much.